420, 420, for 20 long years. I smoked lots of reefer, drank lots of beer. Every day at 420, we're going to settle the score. And for 20 long years, it's been 20 past 4. Hello, welcome to 420 Live. I'm Jeff Kravitz. It is Friday, the Friday edition of 420 Live. If you've been playing along at home, as I know at least a couple dozen of you are, it is the fourth show of the week. Yesterday, I was on the Clubhouse app, my first cannabis discussion on the Clubhouse app, and I have to say I enjoyed it. I liked the Clubhouse. It was really kind of different. Unique. It was kind of like doing a radio show, but then you're like looking at people's faces on the screen. But I enjoyed the conversation. It was about the cannabis, state of cannabis, and getting back into the industries. All of us know we want to get back industries, getting back to work. What the hell am I even talking about? Way too much too early today. Getting our entertainment back is what we're talking about. Getting our shows, our festivals. The cannabis industry has all these events that they do, or trade shows and stuff, and the Cannabis Cup, and we're all trying to get back at it. We're trying to get back on the events. As you know, the Disco Biscuits are playing tonight. Humphreys McGee's going to be playing, I believe. I don't know if they're tonight or this weekend, but everybody's going back to work. All our favorite bands going back to work. Not the big acts. You're not going to be seeing all the big stuff getting back quite yet. But you're going to see a lot of the bands that can, still fit 1,500 or 1,000 people in a sectioned off little pens. If you saw the Disco Biscuits pictures, everybody was in a little pen and dancing along. And can't wait to get back to the music. Can't wait to get back to the fun. So we're chugging along. We had a great week this week, and we have a ton. Oh yeah, that's our guest today, Eric Goldrich. He's coming right up. I have him sitting in purgatory right now, but we had a great lineup of people this week. Next week, we're going to have our first show of the week is going to be about California sober. So I don't know how many of you out there are California sober, but I didn't know that alcohol was involved. But I guess mild, a drink here or there, some bud, some psychedelics. It doesn't quite sound sober, does it? Nothing about that sober, at least when it comes to people that are really sober. I guess Thursday Angus was very sober. And I'm not getting into his personal things that he does, but everybody has their own tolerance, I guess. The Demi Lovato is where this all came from in an article, said that she stopped the hard drugs and now she's on to the nice, soft, easy stuff like alcohol and some weed. That's California sober. So I just don't know where this stuff comes from. I don't even know how the hell people make it up anymore. It's just beyond me how it comes. But everybody playing along. We all live on our Instagrams. We all live in the social world. Lately, you've been seeing a lot of celebrities dropping out. Chrissy Teigen dropped out. And it's pretty funny when you listen to the reasons why she dropped out. She dropped out of social media because she felt that, she didn't want to she doesn't care what people think about her, but she doesn't like the bullying. But if you don't care what people think about you, why do you care if they're bullying you? Just be like, I don't care what you think. You're not important to me. Who cares what your opinion is? Bully me. But, you're giving people that bandwidth in that area there. There is a new feature there on Twitter where you can disable people's ability to comment that you don't want to. So that you can have certain people comment underneath your tweet and then you can just shut it off for other people. I find that very, very harassing. Anyway, we all live in social media. And one of the things we do in social media is see all the things we love to eat and drink and all these beautiful bodies out there, the influencers in the wild. Nobody looks like that in real life. You see these girls on there, and you see them after they've done the face. That's after the Facetune and after the 10 apps. Anyway, our guest today, Eric Goldrich, lives in the IG world, turning people on to great eats. Eric and I are going to go at it right now. Say hi to EG, Eric Goldrich.
I was like, we're going to go at it. I was like, oh, I don't have sandwiches. I almost ordered a burger to eat with you, but that'd be excessive.
You know, I was thinking that would be something cool to do if we both had Uber drop us off the same sandwich so we could try it in person. But you know what? This isn't really my feeding time yet. So, but you're always eating, dude. Is there a part in the day when you're hungry? Because I always see you stuffing your face.
Is there a part? No, the question is there a part in the day when I'm not hungry? Because
Right.
I am always I mean, it's actually ridiculous. And thank you for having me, by the way. It's great to see you.
Welcome to 420 Live.
It's how real people connect, but not for too much longer. I go to sleep a little hungry, although I try not to, but I wake up hungry. Like I wake up ready to eat breakfast. I hold off a little bit, but I'm hungry all the time. And it's not really hungry that I want to eat something and digest it. I want to taste it. I like tasting food. And that's, I think, my problem.
All right, so walk us through a typical day of your diet, like even with what you cook yourself, and like what do you do? Like when you eat, when you wake up, when do you decide what time you start eating?
Well, are you talking weekdays? Are we talking weekends?
Yeah, just like in a general, like a Monday to Friday kind of situation, not weekends, because we all know that's special.
Well, right. So weekdays, I really do. I try to be. My father hates me saying this word, clean. I try to eat as clean as I can. He's an old soul, like he's an old guy. So clean irks him for some reason. But, breakfast, if I'm working out nice and heavy, which I have to do to not be a billion pounds, about 3 to 4 eggs, 2 are egg whites, maybe a little bit of broccoli, some onion, a little bit of micro cilantro, which I get at Sprouts. That is, if you're a cilantro fan, micro cilantro is just wonderful because it's a little, you don't have to worry about
not a cilantro fan.
Tastes like soap to you?
Yeah, when I first came here and it was in stuff, it would ruin me. And that was early on in the 80s. I'd come in, they put cilantro on the meal, and I'd be like, oh, what is this shit? It looks like parsley.
There is no more controversial food, I think, aside from like eating dog, which obviously I'm not for, than eating cilantro. Cilantro is that can ruin relationships, I feel like.
Yeah, it's true. But the people that love it really like it a lot.
I love it. I mean, I put it on as many things as I think I can. So I put a little cilantro, and then I have this hot sauce that a friend of mine recommended. It's called mezcalete or something, that is like the smoky hot sauce that I put on, and a half a grapefruit or blackberries. So that's my breakfast. Started off strong.
All right, so during the week, you're pretty good.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, unless a friend goes, you want to try this burger for lunch? And then sometimes I get pulled. But then I try to have a big happy salad or maybe some fish and veggies, and then dinner, generally just protein and veggies. Although since quarantine began, just like you started this wonderful podcast, my fiance and I, now that we're home working together, we do Taco Tuesdays, as any good American might try to do, Taco Tuesdays, and that's always a fun little treat early in the week.
So what are the big changes in the food industry locally since COVID hit in the past year? What are the biggest pandemic changes you've seen in trend?
I mean, one of my and many Angelino's favorite places, Howlin' Ray's, the hot Nashville hot chicken spot downtown LA or Chinatown.
Usually an hour and a half, 2 hour wait to get a sandwich there, right?
Easy. I mean, I've waited 3 or 4 hours. I brought a few beers with me, which made it more enjoyable. But I've waited a very long time. But now something like that, you can get it delivered on Postmates, which is unbelievable. I'm doing it tomorrow, actually. I'm going to order. It's my birthday tomorrow, which is why my fiance got.
Oh yeah, there you go. You got the balloons.
I figured. I was like, leave it there. It's good for the background. So Howlin' Ray's, places that you had to like wait in line for before, you weren't allowed to do that the past year. So restaurants adapted, or some did, and Howlin' Ray's, they adapted, and I can't even imagine the business they're doing with just pumping out chicken sandwiches for delivery.
Do you think that's going to continue afterwards?
It's interesting. I hope it doesn't. I actually missed the line. Like there's some anticipation about it, and you get really hungry, and then when you finally make it, the music is blasting. Mario is waiting there for you at the front, who works at Howlin' Ray's, and greets you, and just the energy. And when maybe you were a little drunk, possibly if you had a few beers, and then you finally eat that chicken sandwich at the end of this long line for like an iPhone, which I would never wait in line for, but I wait in line for food. So I miss that, and so I can't wait to go back to that, frankly. But they may keep a Postmate thing open. I mean, it's got to be good business. I
would think that everybody is able to survive, because there's a lot of places that haven't survived. We've had a lot of places that are closing, a lot of places that are revamping. So people rise to the occasion, other people fell away. Are you originally from the East Coast?
I'm from New York, baby. I have a 914 number from Westchester. It's the only thing left, aside from my occasional accent, that I have still from New York.
All right, well, let's get this out of the way now, because I saw you talking about pastrami sandwiches, and I was also like raised in New Jersey, but it's pretty cantankerous with my friends and I that all my friends from New York, I take them to Langer's, and I'm like, look, this sandwich is better than anything you can give me in New York. And I've been to Second Avenue Deli, and I've been to Katz's, where the rye bread tastes like cardboard, and I've been to I've been at Kaplan's we used to go to. I don't even know if they're still open, but they had a really nice sandwich.
Carnegie Deli, I think, closed as well. I think Carnegie Deli closed. Russ and Daughter.
Carnegie Deli closed, yes, at Second Ave, which is actually a great sandwich. But to me, Langer's has the bread, and that, to me, you can't have a great sandwich if you don't have amazing bread. And it blew my mind, because when I moved here, everybody told me that LA doesn't have the bread, and every day the deli's not as good. And I came across Langer's when I moved here in 1986. And I just happened to drive by it and see this Jewish deli sitting on the corner in the middle of this neighborhood where everything was written in Spanish. And I'm like, I don't know what that place is, but I bet it's bomb. And I went there one day for lunch, and I took a bite of the sandwich. And the first thing I thought was, I got to tell my dad about this sandwich, because my dad went to NYU. So I finally took my dad there, and he had the sandwich, and I knew it was a winner when he was packing them to take them back east. So
he lived right by Katz's, so he's a really good litmus test for how does it compare? What did he think? Was he didn't think there's anything to compare with it on the planet. I mean, because it was just such a different thing. I mean, that bite of the Langers, and one thing my brother told me, I'd taken him there multiple times. And I remember sitting across from him and him biting into a sandwich on another trip. And I'm like, how was it? How is it? And he's like, it's exactly like I remember, which is rare, because usually your mind tends to make things better or worse. And then you bite into it, you're just like, it's really an amazing sandwich. Go ahead. I want to hear what you think, though. Well, I couldn't agree more. It is the perfect pastrami, coleslaw, rye sandwich, and that bread is second to none. That and Daughter's Deli, which is Langer's daughter,
yes,
on Sunset Strip, of course, same pastrami, which all comes, by the way, from RC Provisions. Shout out to Matt Giamella and Giamella's, who makes, at least gets it ready for all these people. I mean, man, they service like almost all the pastrami we love comes from them. So I didn't, it took me a long time to realize there's a pastrami supplier. I mean, it's unbelievable. But man, I mean, Langer's is my parents are coming out in a few weeks, because they're now fully vaccinated. So I'm going to see them for the first time in a year and a half. We're probably going to cry at least my mom and I will cry probably for a solid hour when we hug. But I'm going to make sure we get Langer's. And your question was other pastrami in LA, like just
just like, what do you think, like in the comparison with New York and LA? I mean, do you think there's something in New York that's better? Because I really want to go try it.
I mean, pastrami wise, I don't.
Well, pastrami wise, actually, Katz's maybe have an edge on the pastrami.
Just the pastrami itself. Yes. I agree.
I don't think with the bread it has the edge, for sure.
No. They're really actually Johnny's West Adams here in LA on off Crenshaw Boulevard. They're making amazing, super smoky pastrami, and they have a marble rye that is fantastic and goes so well with their pastrami sandwiches and their Reubens and stuff. So suggest trying that out, actually, if you haven't. But in terms of the LA versus New York, I mean, that bagel article from New York Times, man, that caused serious That we were waiting for the big one earthquake in LA. That was the big one. I'm pretty sure that was the eruption that people were waiting.
So what was the bagel in LA that they're putting up against the bagels in New York?
Courage Bagels on Virgil.
On Virgil. So that's right where Sunset kind of meets Sunset and Santa Monica kind of meet, right?
Right by there, yeah.
Silver Lakey.
And listen, I actually, my favorite bagel, and being a New Yorker, I'm saying bagel is actually Bell's Bagels over here in Highland Park, which is right on New York. And my buddy Nick I went to college with him. He started it, and he's from the East Coast. And they are just crushing what I think is the closest that I've had, or better than a lot of New York bagels. Courage Bagels is Montreal style, which I didn't know that was a thing until I had Courage. And man, it's unbelievable, but it's not in the same world. It's kind of like, I almost want to say it's kind of like a great brisket versus great pastrami. It's like, you know what I mean? Like they're made from the same cut of meat, but they're made differently.
Or corned beef and pastrami.
Maybe that's better. Maybe that's a better analogy. Lamb and tuna fish, but spaghetti and meatball. I think that. But I will say that the LA reputation of food over, I guess, the past over decades, right? LA has always been subservient to New York. New York City always been the capital of food, right? I mean, it's a culture, it's a melting pot. It's the best, number one. But I got to say, I've been in LA 11 years. I go back to New York. Well, I did every year a few times. We travel around the city, have really great restaurants, and it does amazing stuff. It's New York City. It's New York. But LA,
LA has the innovation.
And I think innovation and also like there's so many quality spots at so many different price points too, like so many.
Right. There was an article actually because there was a huge shift. There was a tectonic shift in what happened in LA versus New York. New York had been on top of the food chain forever, literally, and LA overtook them. And what I read was the cost of real estate. Because in New York City, you had to have a restaurant that gave everybody exactly what they wanted every time they came in. So the chefs weren't coming in and trying to change the wheels on the tire, kind of like the movie Chef, where the guy was like, you got to make this. Yeah. And that's what people want, because people come here and they want to eat this. And it's kind of true. That's kind of like a New York thing. And in LA, where real estate's cheap, guy was doing chicken. Wasn't there a guy doing chocolate? It was chocolate fried chicken. He was actually a really famous chicken guy, and he started using cocoa with the flour to create chocolate fried chicken. And he had a place in downtown LA where he was making it, and it was a thing for a while. It's still not open, but
I was like, I'm gonna try that.
I'm very experimental here and going out on the edge, and people don't mind trying it. And then if it's successful, they can move into a bigger place that's more expensive to run. But in New York, you got to make it to fake it.
First of all, your Dustin Hoffman impression was fantastic. I thought that was just top notch. Because I was like, that's
I'm walking here.
Yeah. People want the same thing every time. I'm doing a Bernie Sanders now.
It was true though, right? That's what the guy said.
Yeah. It's my restaurant. You want to go to your own restaurant? You go to your own restaurant. But my restaurant, you make what I want to make. And it's again Bernie Sanders or Richard Nixon that I'm doing. I love that movie, and that's I didn't realize that's a wonderful point. They don't have the bandwidth or even the latitude to be able to try cool things. Where, man, I mean, LA, it's like every chef that you love, even someone like Wolfgang Puck, is always trying to spin the wheel, and Nancy Silverton, these sort of really iconic.
Well, these are very two iconic people, and Wolfgang Puck changed LA cuisine single-handedly with his approach to Californian Asian, the whole mix. And that was when Spago's was above Tower Records right there on Sunset. Were you living here at that point?
No.
Yeah, that's when I first moved here. You went to Spago's. He only had one place in town, and it was right up there on the hill. And the next thing you know, he was doing the frozen pizzas. And, but then he finally moved to Beverly Hills, and they started expanding and opening up Chinois and Granita out in Malibu. And the guy was a genius. And Nancy Silverton, too, changed bread in Los Angeles. You wouldn't even eat the bread basket when it got delivered in the beginning. They put it on the table. You're like, I don't want to ruin my calories eating, it was Pioneer Bakery. I don't want to eat the Pioneer rolls because they're just funny. they don't taste great. But then once they put a La Brea Bakery basket on your table,
Right.
there would be nothing left.
Well, and I remember seeing you. We didn't say hi to each other because I think it was so crazy. But I saw you at oh man, it was like the grilled cheese pop up at Pizzeria Mozza.
Yeah,
about a year ago, probably.
right.
Ago,
That was actually really good.
It was great, and I saw you there, and Nancy. I met Nancy finally. She grabbed my arm and she like rubbed my arm in a very like motherly / she was coming on to me way, and it was a very strange experience.
Confusing.
Yeah. I was like, well, you're Nancy Silverton, so I'm going to let this fly. Like I was mesmerized, but then after I left, I go, she was really rubbing my arm there. She was like, can I cook this? Can I cook this arm? She's always trying to cook things. But I brought those two up just because they're obviously like, I don't want to call them dinosaurs. They're legends in LA, but they are always, I guess you're right. They've always been innovating and making things better and not letting the rent stop them or any critics stop them. They're like, I think this is going to be interesting and fun. And I think the new, younger wave, if you want to call them, of chefs, people like, I mean, you know, Johnny Zone of Howland to bring that kind of stuff to LA. It's unbelievable. And Alvin Kalin of Amboy, Bert Bachman. I mean, what he's done with Trudy's Underground, and now it's Slab, and now he has the new place Santolina. And
Santolina, where you can't. I actually had to hit him up and be like, "Hey, I want to come eat at your place, but I can't get in."
Is it impossible? I haven't even tried yet.
Yeah, it's absolutely like my daughter's like, "Dad, you're gonna have to do something here."
You gotta pull some strings, Dad. Come on.
Dad, come on. You know Bert, you're gonna have to talk to him. Bert is probably one of the most impressive motherfuckers I've ever seen. Like I told Katrina, my daughter, she 25, and to tell her to go follow a guy that's 50 years old, my kids aren't really interested. But I'm like, Katrina, you will not believe what this guy gets done in a day. I cannot believe what his day consists of, like all the different things he does, and still finds time. Today, what I see just before he came on air, he was putting caviar on top of cheese fries at Shake Shack.
I saw.
I mean,
and then he's selling real estate, and then he's home being a great father. He's unbelievable to me.
And then opening up this new hot restaurant on top of the Beverly Hilton that it's all Mediterranean food.
But he totally did literally behind closed doors, was totally quiet until like the week leading up. All of a sudden, I saw the views of him opening this place. I'm going, dude, what is this? And he was like, you'll see. I'm like, geez, man, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the guys like this, like you're talking about, are really setting the Bert, our friend Lawrence Longo. Yeah. They're setting the earth on fire. I mean, and we could tell the Prince Street Pizza when I saw Eric. I went to the Prince Street. If you know Lawrence, you can go there and sit in the back where we did one of our broadcasts there, and they'll bring you some pizza out. And there's EG sitting there, and he's got the spread in front of him. And I'm like, wow, man, look, they're taking care of him. And this is because you're talking shit, right?
There was a slight, man, you got the story also. There's a slight story behind that. And I actually will blame Kevin Norpavar for this. Kevin is actually a food influencer. I just eat a lot of food, and now I'm starting to sell it. But he, how Kev eats it, or how Kev eats. He was talking up this Prince Street Pizza from New York coming to LA, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool," because I actually enjoy some of the pizza in LA, but nothing's New York, nothing. It came to a festival, like a food festival called Family Style Fest, and they came. I tried it. I took a bite and threw it away. I mean, it was maybe the worst pizza I've ever eaten. So I was like, all right, well, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He doesn't know fucking pizza. They had another pop-up on Sunset, and he said, come, I'll prove to you it's good. That was a bad experience. I said, okay, I'll come try the pizza. And it's just like more like, it's not like let's get the influencer to sign off on it. It was like, I know this pizza's good, and I'm going to prove to you, Eric.
Listen, I know it's a competition. I know one thing about food. And when you get with your buddies and you start going at it, it's a competition.
And if someone doesn't like what you love, it's like, no. Come try it again. Like I need to know. I need to go to sleep tonight knowing that you love also what I love, or at least you appreciate that food. So I went to this place. It was better, but still, it was like, dude, this is not New York pizza. And I was making fun of the thing, like no other square can compare. I hit up all my New York City buddies. I'm like, do you go to Prince Street Pizza? They go, it's fine. And I'm like, damn. So they open up, Lawrence opens it, Big Shot opens it up in LA. And by the way, I've met Lawrence 3 times before this. Never talked shit. I don't talk shit in public. I don't even talk shit really on Instagram. I just talk shit to my friends because I don't want to knock people. I really, something about my Instagram, I'm not there to review a restaurant. I'm not there to give you a rating. I'm not there to do anything. I'm there to go enjoy food because I love it so much and I think about it more than anything. Sorry, Mac, my fiance. I think about it more than anything. And I thought it was an outlet to share. And if I inspire someone to go try it also and love it too, well, that's great. But it's just an outlet for me because I think about it so much. I got to have somewhere to put it. So Lawrence hit me up on Instagram and said something like, let me prove to you Prince Street Pizza's good. And I was just like, what? And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, I know you're talking shit. Let me prove to you that it's good. And I was like, listen, man, I'm not talking shit about it in public. He goes, no, but I want to prove it. So anyway, we figured out a day when I ran into you. I went there. He gave me the spread, and I was proven wrong. And as I said then, and I'll say it again, humility is a beautiful thing about human beings, and not enough people have humility. I was humiliated at how good this was and the shit that I was talking, and I said, this is fantastic. Even the round pie was better than the square pie. It was great.
I don't agree there. I think that the square pie for me, because of the sponginess and the crispy bottom and the oiliness, a little bit on the dough, and then
it's great.
The whole thing. It's just different than anything here. There's amazing slice places. I mean, you talk about Nancy Silverton. Mazda's is one of the best pizzas in town, and completely different and innovative. And Stella Bar is good. We got a lot of great.
But those are individual guys, right? So like in terms of just like a New York slice,
I understand what you're saying as far as New York slice, but I still. I'm going to get shit from Lawrence Pie too, but I'm not as big a fan of the rounds as I am the square. I'll eat them, but
maybe I was just I went with such low expectations. See, now this is another thing. Maybe at that moment I thought it was just so good. Now Lawrence is going to kill us both. I got to go back and make sure I wasn't high because I might have been, but I need to go back and try it. Sober.
All right. Well, let's get into a couple of the hot things in LA. What are like the top 3 items you think that popped out during pandemic that we didn't have before then that have really lit you up?
I'll tell you some places. All right. So one place I'll say is 2 places actually. First one is Katsu Sando. Katsu Sando are a Japanese like tonkatsu, the Japanese like fried pork and stuff.
Yes.
So they become friends of mine, Daniel and Annie's son. They opened Katsu Sando. They were at Smorgasburg every Sunday. Actually, they were off Sunset once a month for maybe 6 months, something like that. Then they went to Smorgasburg every Sunday. And I'm telling you, perfect milk honey bread that they make themselves, just like incredible sandwiches. And they stopped going there. COVID happened, and they were going to open their own brick and mortar for the first time, but it kept on getting delayed. They've got one open. It's actually kind of across the street from Hal and Ray's, right next to Wax Paper down in Chinatown. It's kind of unassuming. You can't really find it, but it is on the street, and it's amazing sandwiches. Fried chicken, fried pork. They have a ground up A5 Wagyu called a menchi. It's like a hamburger patty, but it's not a hamburger patty. It's just wonderful and very unique. And I just love those guys. I mean, they are just wonderful. So Katsu Sando, tacos. There's a place that I've posted about a few times that's over in Highland Park. They were on York as a little pop-up for about a year. And then COVID happened, and he started cooking out of his grandma's backyard right off of York and 50th, and he sells out in, I think, 2 minutes. He goes on sale Tuesdays at noon. This guy sells out for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which is when he cooks and sells, and he's serving from like 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. Like every 5 minutes he has an order. He sells out in minutes. It's unbelievable what he's done now. And so
what does he have, slots that people take?
Yeah, and it is like I have a picture, but this is the I can't really see. You can't really see it. No, I can't see it well
Yeah,
at
that's
all.
right.
Hard to see. Well,
Yeah.
Villa's Tacos, Villa. This guy Vic, what a hustler, man. He is just making some really cool shit.
And what's his meats?
He's got a pastor, steak, chicken, and he has a vegetarian one too. Oh, I'm sorry. He has steak, chicken, and chorizo. So I think chorizo's one. And why I think he has the most special taco in LA right now. His tortillas are blue. That's it's not a gimmick, but they're blue, so it's different. They're thin. There's a little melted cheese like a layer that sticks out and makes it look cool, kind of like Apollonia's pizza, like Detroit style.
Gotcha.
Like that thing. And there's a thin layer of potato before he puts the meat on it and all the other fixings. And I'm telling you, Jeff, it's almost like I just got goosebumps. I swear to God. The diners in New York or in the East Coast, the home fries that you would get with your eggs in the morning that are like soft and they're like, they don't have skin on them, but they're like in weird different chunk sizes, but they're soft and easy to eat. So imagine those diner home fries, but a little more crumpled up as a layer I got goosebumps again, as a layer on the taco. This is like unbelievable. This combination of flavor and texture, it blows my mind.
It's something completely unique that you haven't had before. So that's kind of what sets you on fire. I love your passion there, Eric.
I can't believe I got goose. I mean, listen, I love the taco, but I didn't expect goose. Maybe I am hungry.
Maybe you're going to marry the tacos.
I might.
They better be careful.
I'm supposed to get married June 6th, but so I've got 2 months to decide. Do I marry her or do I marry my taco?
You might be able to have both.
Okay.
The wife might not mind you being married to tacos.
Well, I mean, if that was cheating on her, then I'm very sinful.
You're screwed.
Yeah, I'm going right to hell.
All right, come on, give us another item.
I'm trying to think of. Goldburger. See, I would love to bring up burgers to you because what's your take on? So burgers, we all know a good burger. It's always been a thick-ish patty forever. And
so are you a thicker patty guy, or are you into the new smash thing?
Q Lawrence being like, I brought burgers, never say die, which is, I guess, partially true.
Yes.
Smash burgers are different. It's kind of like the Courage bagel, the Montreal bagels, and the New York bagels thing. They're different. They're just what are you in the mood for? Do you want a hefty, big, meaty patty like Amboy's DH burger, which is
I just want to bite. Like if you want a bite that just melts in your mouth. Burgers never say die. That's burger. That smash burger is absolutely amazing. There was a time when I thought Hi Ho had the best burger in LA, but I think one of the best burgers is right there on that shirt.
The window.
The window. That burger is.
It's money.
Money. And it's not a smash burger. It's not a smash burger, but it's a thin patty. It is delicious.
It's weird though, right? Because there's smash, there's thick, and then there's just good old regular.
Right. I like when there's two on a bun and they're both delicious and tender and melt in your mouth. And I like the thick. There was that place on right off of Sunset, began with it was Al, something like that. And they had a burger. I said, because Lawrence was doing his thing, so I'd watch when he was eating 365 burgers. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching him eat his burgers, and there were a couple there, and I was like, I got to try that one, And that was at this place, Al something. It was like a really cool. It almost looked like you were eating in a Harry Potter train car.
Oh,
and it was really weird. It was right off of like Sunset by Guitar Center. I can't remember what the hell the name was. But it was a really different, interesting burger. I mean, I think it was more like I've had the Tra-Mek burger, right? Have you had that?
Yeah, but the Tra-Mek? Yeah, and
Chef Ludo's very saucy and rich.
Yeah, and he's a monster, man. He's
Luke.
Ludo is he's a great. I mean, he's a good dude, and man, he just makes some killer food, man. It's ridiculous. But
he was an innovator too in the city, and you started with the food truck, right? That was like his, or no, he had a food truck.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a food. It was Ludo Bites.
Ludo Bites, right. That's right.
Ludo Bites.
Goldberger in Highland Park also. I moved to Eagle Rock, so I'm in this world now. And Goldberger, I know they had a pop up in Silver Lake, and then they opened a brick and mortar on York. And their burger, I would say them and Burgers Never Say Die are the best smash burgers in LA, and they're very different too. Because my buddy Kevin, I'll give him the credit for this. He said, and he's huge food fan like I am. He's like my best food pal. Burgers Never Say Die. He said, if God created the McDouble for McDonald's, that's what it would be. And that is so true, because
it does have a lot of the McDonald's overtones to it, that burger.
And the Goldberger, yeah. Oh, it really is the best McDonald's double of all time. Like
Burger Never Say Die, we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But Goldberger, amazing smash burgers, and they have like a garlic aioli thing going on. They sell curly fries, which you can't really get most places. That I grew up loving curly fries with a little seasoning. They've got that, and it's a fantastic burger. Their Goldberger signature is I would say second to none, because again, Burgers Never Say Die and Goldberger are they're not competitors. They're just different kinds of smash burgers. Yeah, Hi-Ho, I had a while ago. I had it the one they opened on Wilshire, and
when they first opened, that burger was fire
in Santa Monica, right?
Yeah,
I never had that one.
We would go and we'd be like, "Wow, you got to try Hi-Ho." It was just like it was on, and I don't know what changed. I really couldn't put my finger on it, but when I would go to the window, between the window and Hi-Ho, I was just like, window.
Yeah. Well, the window's great. I think Hi-Ho ended up getting corporate, is what I think.
Well, they're part of this Sugarfish conglomerate.
Unbelievable, man. Who owns that thing? Because they are making unbelievable.
Well, the guys, and then they also have the pasta place where they only use
Uovo.
Uovo only uses the eggs of a hen that is from Sardinia or some shit like that, because it has a red yolk. Yeah. So they got to ship the eggs from Sardinia.
And they fly it in from Italy every day.
I mean, it is delicious, but I don't know if I could tell the difference on the yolk. I'd probably like to have an omelet made with that. How about dessert places? What's your favorite chocolate chip cookie in town?
Ooh, man, I was not prepared for that. Best chocolate chip cookie. Ooh. It's funny. You brought up Stella Barra. Stella Barra used to have some of my favorite cookies for a while.
Yes.
Underrated.
But then the Levain Bakery ripoff at Bristol Farms. Right. Have you had the cookie at Bristol Farms?
I think I've had many of their cookie. Yeah. The ones that they make fresh, right?
Those big chocolate chips.
With the walnuts in them or whatever.
Yeah. That's a knockoff of Levain Bakery in New York City. Yes, that's supposed to be that cookie.
That's messed up. I don't like that. They ripped that off, huh? But
I think it was. I don't know if it was part of a deal or whatever it was, but it was a thing to make those cookies. You got to freeze the dough. Have you ever tried to make them?
No.
You have to freeze. They freeze the dough, which is how they get them so big without spreading out. If you put that much dough down, the whole cookie would spread out. So you make the cookies, you make them in the shape, and then you put them in the freezer. And then when they cook slower. So they stay bigger.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
When you get kids, they're going to start doing shit like that, because you're going to bring a cookie home and they're going to be like, I want to make that. And then you're like, how do you make it? And they look it up online and they make the stuff.
I'm going to gain so much weight as a father. It's unbelievable.
Hey, it happened to me too.
A milk jar. Milk jar, I think, is the best cookie in town. I think milk jar is just not Milk Bar and not milk. There's so many milks.
So where's Milk Jar?
Wilshire. It's a little tiny little store between La Cienega and Fairfax.
Okay.
It is, dude. Have you never had Milk Jar?
I don't think so.
I'm about to send it to you. Like after this is done, I'm going to literally Postmate Milk Jar to you.
I love it.
It's so good. It is, I think, the best cookie if you want to put it in the microwave for 10 seconds just to get a little melty.
Yeah. I like to heat them up.
I think Milk Jar is unbelievable. I think Milk Jar is the most balanced, best cookie. Brady's Bakery is great too, which is visually stunning, and they're delicious. They're just
where's that?
Fucking huge. They're on the southeast side of something. I thought they were in Glendale actually, but no, they're Chicken at Brady's Bakery. They're
Yeah,
making.
I mean, a lot of those places are geographically unavailable to me. It's just like, I'm just like, I mean, I love that Bert, like I was talking about Bert again, but Bert gets all over town. You're like, wow, that guy's got to spend a lot of time in his car because it's a lot of time in your car going places. Just before we cut out, you were Mother Clucker Award this year. You were like the fan of the year for fried chicken, for the chicken man officially.
You surprised me, man. I was really shocked. I was honored.
Well, you have a huge passion for it. I saw you at the Daily, this new place, the Daily Bird. Yeah, was that 2 days ago?
Daybird, yeah.
Daybird.
Yesterday. Oh, what a treat.
Is that incredibly spicy or?
No, it's it's from Mei Lin, who won Top Chef. Used to have a place called Nightshade that I never went to downtown, unfortunately. I've heard it was fantastic, so now I'm just upset it's gone. Talk about FOMO. But she opened Daybird right in Silver Lake, and it's the Szechuan I hope I'm saying it right. Szechuan style inspired chicken sandwich. It's a chicken thigh, and it's got a little bit of sweet, a little bit of spice. You can get different spice levels, and they have this habanero ranch that I poured on it. Woo, woo! What an experience! I was warm and fuzzy for hours. I mean, it was great.
Habanero is really spicy though. That stuff.
But the ranch offset the because I agree with you. I can't handle too spicy. Like medium.
Yeah, there are like I don't know. Have you been to Birdie's? Because I think that their chicken sandwich at Birdie's is
I haven't been. I've been wanting to go to Birdie's for years.
Amazing because the sandwich is like a big fat breast like this, and I'm just like, how could this be good when it comes out and you eat it? It's like eating a warm stick of butter. Your teeth just fall right through it. You're like, whoa!
It's not spicy, though, right? It's not spicy.
What?
It's not spicy.
Well, they have one that's not spicy, but then they have a ghost pepper sandwich there that everybody's like, eh. And the whole spicy chicken phenomenon. I remember going to Dave's Hot Chicken on Western in Santa Monica because I drove by and I could see there were only like 10 people in line because usually it's an hour wait. And I was like, I got to go try Dave's. And I'm sitting there reading the review, and it says on Yelp, somebody wrote down, anything more than a 3 is painful. And I was like, okay. I went in, I was like, can I get a 3? I sat down, I had my food next to me, and the guy next to me, I'm like eating mine, and I just watching him have his reaction to his food. And I'm like, what'd you get? He's like, the 10. I was like, oh.
It goes to 10? It's 3 out of 10?
And it goes to 10, and they tell you not to get above a 3. So most people that walk into that situation, like if I would walk in without reading a review, I would have gone for a 5.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm like middle of the road.
Yeah.
5 would have been too hot, I think. This guy at a 10 had to go outside. He was... I mean, it gets to a point where the food's almost uncomfortable to eat at that point.
Why even do it? I don't get it. I wouldn't even ever try the Howland Plus with the gloves on. What's the point? I'm going to hate myself. If you want to really laugh, though, speaking of Yelp reviews, go to Howland Ray. Howland Rays has like the highest rating for the amount of people that reviewed it on Yelp. Go to the 1-star ratings on Howland Rays, and you're going to laugh so much because it's because they ate at the Howland Plus, and they're so upset.
Yeah, because everybody thinks they can handle this stuff. They don't understand what it could do to you, and it's really hot. So I digress. So the chicken awards, they picked the chicken, which I actually thought was an amazing discovery. Was the main chick hot chick?
A coworker told me about it about a year and a half ago when they were just in Santa Monica out of that ghost kitchen weird space, whatever that is. And they franchised. See, I'm not the biggest Dave's Hot Chicken fan. Dave's the Western in Santa Monica, the original spot, I thought was very good. And I think they expanded too fast and they lost a lot of their quality control. And I've really not enjoyed my experiences at the other places. Main Chick Hot Chicken, though, I think are expanding slowly and strategically and methodically. And what I've had from the different places is one in Pasadena now. It's great. It's great. It's a good time.
Yeah, they're tender too, but if you go medium, also incredibly spicy. Like you got to go just plain with them because my kids were like, "Get me medium," and then they were all like, "Oh."
It's intense.
You know what happened? One night I Postmate it, and I'm following the Postmate in the car, right? And the guy's literally pulling down my street, and then all of a sudden he ghosts, and I'm like, "The fucker ate my food."
Did he eat your food?
He must have, because what happens? You're driving to my house. I see you coming down my fucking street, and you're not going to pull up to my front door and drop it off. I went outside looking for him. I thought he was lost and shit. He fucking couldn't take it anymore. He got all the way from there. I'm probably 3-4 miles from that place in Santa Monica. The guy gets to my house. It's the first time it's ever happened, but it would probably just smelled so good. He was probably going in there and grabbing a fry or something like that. And then finally he's like, fuck it, I got to eat this. Has that ever happened to you? Somebody eats your food?
I don't think anyone's ever eaten my food, but it's been given to a different. When I was in an apartment building, my food was given to another apartment, and I asked them which apartment. I went down there, and it was the oldest lady who it was given to, and I said, "Hi, did you take my food?" And she just stared at me, like kind of shaking, and I was like, "Never mind, never mind." Then I just left. I was like, "Obviously, I hope she's enjoying it. I don't want to fight the woman." I was kind of pissed.
I was kind of pissed.
Well, you need to order less tasty food. You can only order shitty food. If you want to get
I guess the aroma too. Fried stuff in a car when you're driving, the whole car smells like whatever you had in there.
And the Nashville stuff, like hot main chick, it smells even better than just plain hot, fried chicken.
It's a damn good chicken. Is that your favorite? What is your favorite in LA as far as
to give a chain a shout out, Houston's, Hillstone, South Beverly Grill, the Dings crispy chicken sandwich is one of my favorite chicken sandwiches ever. And there was another non-hot chicken sandwich. Daybird was fantastic yesterday. Fantastic. A place called La Coupe to Go. A group or a family or whatever, a couple out of Orange County or something, Newport Beach, had a place called La Coupe to Go. And they had this butterflied, fried, split-thighed chicken sandwich that, man, it was huge. It was fantastic. I had it twice, and the last time I had it was the day before they closed because they got kicked out of their ghost kitchen. Apparently, they're coming back. I don't know when, but, man, as soon as they come back, get that La Coupe chicken sandwich. It is unbelievable. I mean, I've never had something like it.
All right, I want you to try Birdies too.
I need to try.
I Birdies. You know where it is?
Yeah, it's in like Koreatown-ish area.
It's
right?
It's right by the Ace Hotel. It's actually downtowny.
Oh, it's downtown.
It's like 11th, and it's right around the corner from the Ace Hotel.
But doesn't it come on donuts or no?
No, they sell. The only thing they sell in that place is donuts and fried chicken.
Not fried chicken donut sandwiches. That they don't do that.
No, they don't do that. But while you're there, you always end up trying their donuts, and their donuts aren't great. Let's talk donuts for a second. Favorite donut spot?
Oh, you know what I just had when I did my little pop up this past weekend. My buddy who got some pastrami brought me a Donut Friend, which is over here also in Highland Park on York. Yes. I never had it because I never want to wait in line for donuts. I just have no interest. He brought me their Samoa donut. Holy motherfucking shit! This thing, it was a giant Samoa cookie, Girl Scout cookie, but it was a donut. And in the middle of eating it, he said, "By the way, it's vegan." I said, "No,
wow,
that's not true." And I looked it up. My fiance also was like, "That's bullshit. There's no way that's vegan." I looked it up. All their donuts are vegan. I'm not going, dude. Blew my mind.
That's epic. Have you had? I like Sidecar.
I haven't had Sidecar yet. And they just really opened right where I used to live. I'm so upset. I got to try Sidecar.
Sidecar is really good. Tell us about your project, because you did a couple pop-ups this week, right?
I did my first pop-up this past weekend. I made homemade pastrami, and I sold a sandwich that I named after my mom called the LG. Her name is Leslie. My last name is Goldrich. So I called it the LG. I actually called it the Leslie after her, but she just said, "Please don't call it my name." I said, "All right, for you, since I'm honoring you, I'm not going to dishonor you by calling it your name," which is a sandwich she learned from her parents who went into Catskills. So anybody who's seen Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, when all the Jews go up to the Catskills in the summer and dance and drink and vacation, that's where the sandwich spawned from, which is interesting because Jewish people who are kosher will never eat pork, but Jews love Chinese food. So I believe that this came together where they said, you know what, roast pork with duck sauce on garlic bread. And that was the sandwich. My mom's made it growing up my whole life. So I made it here for a few friends over the past 6 months. People blown away. Like, why would I want a pork sandwich? I'm good, thank you. I said, just try it. It's a pop of flavor. So I was selling this LG sandwich, and I've been making pastrami now for I don't know, 5-6 months. I just love doing it. I guess it's in my DNA to do it at least decently well, and people seem to love it. So I'm going to try to do another one late April. I don't have a date exactly yet, but I'm planning to.
All right, well, keep us posted. I want to try that pork sandwich, and I want to try that pastrami too.
You got to try the pastrami, and then put it on the Langer's bread.
Yeah, such a fucking purist.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell the folks out there? I actually have a little banner here with Eric's Instagram account, eg.eats.everything, and literally he does eat everything. Is there anything that EG doesn't eat?
I knew you were going to ask that. No, I'll eat everything, but will I take a second bite? Maybe not always, but I'll try it.
Name a couple of things you only took one bite of.
Mackerel, monkfish liver I had in Canada or Seattle once. I thought it was absolutely atrocious.
It has to be prepared right.
Yeah, I guess so. I think those are pretty much, and also I don't love oysters anymore. Unless I'm in New Orleans, where I believe the oysters are king. I don't really like them anymore. I just feel like they're never fresh. That's kind of my thing.
All right. What indoor restaurant that you haven't been able to go to in the past year are you excited to go back to?
Ooh. Man, that is a wonderful question.
Because I went to Sasabone and had amazing sushi the other night.
That sounds great.
Have you ever been there, Sasabone?
I know people love.
Well, he was the original partner with Nozawa when they first came years and decades ago. They came and had a business together, and they split. Sasabone went one way, and Nozawa went another. Nozawa had his place in Studio City, where he would give people literally the evil eye if you made a funny face or anything. It was an intense experience.
Oh yeah, that was the first time I had sugarfish. Was Nozawa, whatever it was called, Nozawa, I think it was called.
Sushi Nozawa, yeah.
Sushi Nozawa. I went there. I was told you have to dress up, and someone probably was fucking with me. But me and my buddy Kevin literally put on a dress shirt and a tie and dress pants and dressed up to go to Sushi Nozawa. We were told if we didn't dress up, they wouldn't let us in. So we were the only schmucks wearing a suit with a tie, which was ridiculous. But man, it was great. It was so good.
He's a great sushi chef, and he's still the buyer now for Sugarfish. I mean, the old man is the one who has the connections.
He's still doing it. That's
well, he's the one who connected the boys. His sons had the idea to do Sugarfish, where instead of paying a sushi chef $150,000 a year, you don't even have a sushi bar in the restaurant.
Right. That's wild. Well, that was a wild experience, and he definitely gave me the evil eye, even though I loved it. I had to be like, I love this, and he was just like,
yeah.
Like, sorry about that.
He was a character. I definitely love. But Sasabone, that they do a much more elaborate and intricate meal. There's a lot more different fish in it than sugarfish.
I need to give it a shot. I mean, I love sushi. But the indoor place I would love to get back to, which has been literally closed and turned into a grocery store essentially since COVID, is Animal, John and Vinny's restaurant on Fairfax. That was one of me and my fiance's like haunts that we just go to whenever we could, or afford it, I should say. We went there for New Year's Eve, not this past, but the year before. And I just think John Shook and Vinny DiTolo are also, like, speaking of innovative chefs in this city. I mean, they are just doing some really cool shit. And I love Animal, which is not for vegetarians, but I just love that restaurant. And I
not for vegetarians.
Yeah,
but there are a lot of places for vegetarians in LA. That's a great thing about it.
There are.
Whatever you want to eat here in LA, you could find it.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Well, Eric, thank you. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to getting together soon and having something good to eat. I'm starving right now.
We will get food very soon. I got to get in wedding shape, but once the wedding's passed, we're going to get some food together. And I want to send you some milk jar cookies because you got to try it.
Great. Thanks, buddy. It was great talking to you today.
Thanks, brother.
For coming on.
See you soon.
All right, Eric Goldrich, EG Eats, ladies and gentlemen. What a week this week. Thank you, Eric, for coming on and talking to us about one of my favorite things in the world, which is food. So that about wraps it here at 420 Live for another week of programming. I want to thank all my guests this week, starting with my friend John McHugh. I deleted my list now, so I don't remember who I had on. That's the life of a stoner. You can't even remember. I did bring a little bit of. I brought my dipper today, just to have a little hit here before the weekend goes for 5. Let's see if it works. Oh, it works. Oh, that's delicious. Triple hernia boy. Signing off. The week ago since my surgery, I'm feeling quite a bit better. Coming into my own. Peace, love, and happiness, everybody out there. Here's the hug. Oh, I forgot the hug the other day, and I got shit for it. So, big hug for everybody. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and we will see you on the other side. Jeff Kravitz signing off.